Good evening. Thank you for joining us this election night. I'm Shannon Ogden.
Hello, everyone. I'm Ann Trujillo.
The top story at 10, the race for governor. And tonight's primary winners were the two front runners for most, if not all, the campaign. Republican Walker Stapleton and Democrat Jared Polis.
All right, let's show you the numbers. On the Democratic side, Polis cruised to a win early, carrying 44% of the vote. Political rivals Kerry Kennedy and Mike Johnston each picked up about a quarter of the vote. Lieutenant Governor Donna Lynn finished a distant fourth. As for the Republicans, Walker Stapleton carried almost half the vote. Victor Mitchell was a solid second place with 30%. Greg Lopez and Doug Robinson finished third and fourth, respectively.
Denver7 is all in on elections. Tonight, we are bringing you team coverage from the winning campaigns.
Now, the AP called the Republican race first. That's where we will begin tonight. Denver7's Liz Gilardi is live in the Tech Center, where Walker Stapleton's campaign is celebrating tonight. Liz?
And Walker Stapleton told me tonight he will run his campaign based on economic issues that matter to Colorado, and the differences between him and Jared Polis could not be more stark. He began his speech, though, tonight talking about the differences and thanking his GOP contenders and calling for unity in his party. He was quick, though, to talk about Democratic candidate Polis. He said his opponent supported a single-payer health care system, and that was met by boos in the crowd. Stapleton also advocated for Colorado's multi-billion-dollar oil and gas industry, saying he supported responsible energy, and Polis would essentially drive out more than 200,000 jobs out of our state. I asked, though, how he plans to sway unaffiliated voters.
Well, I have a track record of swaying unaffiliated voters. In my last two statewide elections, I won counties that were swing counties in Colorado, and I plan to do it again. I plan to do it by offering a hopeful economic vision for all of our kids, an inclusive vision for Colorado.
And Stapleton again saying that he is a common sense conservative who has fought for taxpayers. He did say he would continue to support President Trump on issues that benefit Colorado. Reporting live tonight in the Tech Center, Liz Gilardi, Denver7.
Liz, thank you. Let's go live now. Russell Haythorn's with the Polis campaign.
And Russell, Jared Polis was able to fight off some stiff competition to win the nomination tonight.
Yeah, and they're still pumping in the house music out here in Broomfield. A large crowd continues to gather to celebrate Jared Polis' victory tonight. The Democratic side of things was perhaps a bit more contentious and competitive. Kerry Kennedy appeared to have a lead in the polls early on, and then Mike Johnston made a late run. But in the end, it was all Jared Polis. This race was called just 40 minutes after the polls closed tonight. We have some video to show you from earlier. Polis took the stage shortly after the race was called to thank his supporters. A big crowd tonight here at the Flatirons Renaissance Hotel. If Polis is elected governor, he would be the first openly gay governor ever elected in the U.S., according to the LGBTQ Victory Fund. Polis is currently a member of Congress. In fact, he's getting on a plane tomorrow morning at 5:30 to head back to D.C. for a critical vote, or what could be a critical vote, on immigration reform. And tonight, he took our questions in a private room after the party and painted his opponent and Donald Trump as one and the same.
I think it's really important that we have a governor that's not beholden to Donald Trump. Look, I can work with anybody. I work with members of Congress who see things very differently. I can work with President Trump or any president on funding our roads and infrastructure, on issues that actually improve Colorado. But we can't have a governor that's tied to Donald Trump. We got to have some independence.
So that could be a good indicator of what's to come this campaign season. I asked Jared Polis tonight if this was the beginning of the mudslinging, and he said he looks forward to debating policy issues. Again, the party continues tonight here in Broomfield. We're live. I'm Russell Haythorn. Back to you guys.
Interesting night, yes. Thank you, Russell. And TV advertising is a big part of the reason Polis won this race. Through Friday, Polis spent more than $4.7 million just on TV ad spending, more than all of his challengers put together. Total fundraising showed the same pattern. Polis was able to raise about $12 million, most of which came out of his own pocket. The next closest candidate, Mike Johnston, raised about $8 million between his campaign and the Frontier Fairness PAC. And the ad spending really ratcheted up just in the last week. Candidates dropped another $1 million on ad buys. This is according to the Colorado Independent. The biggest last-minute spenders, two Republican gubernatorial candidates. Victor Mitchell spent $177,000 and Walker Stapleton $123,000.
We saw a record turnout in the primary election, though there is an asterisk here. This is the first primary in which unaffiliated voters participated, and about 250,000 of them participated. As of this afternoon, we know that at least half of those unaffiliated voters voted for Democrat, a third cast a ballot for Republicans, and about 16% of the affiliated ballots still had not been opened.
And this is interesting. We didn't see any sore losers in the gubernatorial race. In fact, Doug Robinson, the last place finisher on the Republican side, had a good sense of humor about his situation.
So via Twitter, he said, if this is played like golf, with the lowest score wins, he does okay. Well, it is not, Mr. Robinson. Democrats Kerry Kennedy and Mike Johnson both were very gracious in their concession speeches, throwing their support now behind Jared Polis.
He has earned my respect. He has earned my support. And I would urge all of you to join me in being the first to sign up, to knock doors and make phone calls and make sure he wins this race in November so we can complete our shared mission.
There are 134 days until the election, 134 days to make sure we keep the governor's office blue in Colorado.
Let's take a look now at the contested congressional races. Six-term Congressman Doug Lamborn topped four Republican challengers in the 5th Congressional District. Lamborn was removed from the race in April over how his campaign collected signatures to petition onto the ballot. However, a federal judge overruled that and put Lamborn back in the race. It obviously didn't matter to voters.
11-term Democratic Congresswoman Diana DeGette had a primary challenger. This is in District 1. Now, even though her first-time candidate, Syra Rao, raised more money than DeGette in the first 3 months of the year, DeGette easily won tonight. And attorney Joe Neguse defeated entrepreneur Mark Williams in the race for Jared Polis's soon-to-be vacant seat representing the Boulder area in Congress. Neguse will take on Republican Peter Yu, who ran unopposed in the Republican primary.
And the closest race of the night is also the only one that has not yet been called. We're talking about the Democratic primary for Attorney General. State Representative Joe Salazar is running against Phil Weiser, a former dean of CU's law school. And as it stands right now, Weiser leads by about 12,000 votes. The winner of this race will face Arapahoe County DA George Brockler, who ran unopposed in the Republican primary. And in the 6th Congressional District, which includes Aurora, Jason Crow beat Levi Tilleman for the opportunity to face incumbent Congressman Mike Kaufman. And Kaufman's campaign wasted no time in hurling insults at Jason Crow. Here's a statement pushed out by Team Kaufman on Twitter tonight, and it says, Jason Crow is a white-collar criminal defense lawyer with a laundry list of shady criminal clients. But still, congratulations to Jason Crow on defeating the guy who sprayed mace in his own face.
All right, quickly, some of the other headlines from primaries around the country tonight. Mitt Romney won Utah's Republican primary for the U.S. Senate. To New York now, 10-term Congressman Joe Crowley lost to a 28-year-old woman running her very first campaign. And in Oklahoma tonight, voters approved a measure to allow medical marijuana. Now, statewide, the mechanics of the election went off smoothly, except for one exception.
Montrose County on the West Slope has to hand count its ballots. There was a printing error and the county elections equipment cannot read the barcode, so final results there are expected Thursday or Friday.